The horizon leans forward, offering you space to place new steps of change. Here, on the pulse of this new day, you may have the grace to look up and out and into your sister's eyes and into your brother's face, your country, and say simply, very simply, with hope, good morning.
With Con Edison, you have the power to go solar, to live greener, to drive cleaner. We're committed to providing more clean energy solutions, and we'll be tripling our energy efficiency programs, helping you save energy and money. Together, we have the power to keep New York moving forward. Where there's energy, there's Con Edison.
Hello, my name is Lorraine Brown, and I'm the President and CEO of One Brooklyn Health. One Brooklyn Health is comprised of Brookdale Hospital, Kingsbrook Hospital and Medical Center, and Interfaith Medical Center. These are three incredibly important hospitals for the Central Brooklyn community. We offer a full range of emergency, outpatient, and inpatient care. The hospitals are ready and willing and open and safe for your care. During COVID, we know that people were very cautious to coming into the community. We are ready to serve you. We are ready to provide safe care, and we don't want you to delay getting the healthcare services that you need. So, thank you very much, and have a very safe and enjoyable Labor Day.
It's time to step up, prep up.
Step up, prep up.
To help keep you free from the risk of HIV.
From the makers of Truvada, a new PrEP option. Descovy for PrEP, a once-daily prescription medicine that helps lower the chances of getting HIV through sex. It's not for everyone. Descovy for PrEP has not been studied in people assigned female at birth. Talk to your doctor to find out if it's right for you.
Step up for health and body.
Prep up for your one and only love, or many loves. For kings, this queen, and you royals in between. For my now.
Our now.
And my future.
Our future.
Step up, prep up.
Descovy is the newest way to prep. Descovy does not prevent other sexually transmitted infections, so it's important to use safer sex practices and get tested regularly. You must be HIV negative to take Descovy for PrEP, so you need to get tested for HIV immediately before and at least every 3 months while taking it. If you think you were exposed to HIV or have flu-like symptoms, tell your doctor right away. They may check to confirm you are still HIV negative. Serious side effects can occur, including kidney problems and kidney failure. Rare life-threatening side effects include a buildup of lactic acid and liver problems. The most common side effect was diarrhea. Tell your doctor about all the medicines and supplements you take, or if you have kidney or liver problems, including hepatitis. If you have hepatitis B, do not stop taking Descovy without talking to your doctor. Ask your doctor about your risk of HIV, and if Descovy for PrEP is right for you.
Words are loud, but actions are louder.
Step up,
Prep up.
With Descovy for PrEP.
Get help paying for Descovy for PrEP. Learn more at stepupprepup.com.
Welcome to our enchanted island, where a child can grow to 20 feet tall, where oil barrels sing, and Mondays are for street parties, where cathedrals grow right out of the earth, where business and pleasure actually mix, all in one perfect place. Visit Trinidad.
Yerusalema, ikhaya lami, ilondoloze.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as a listening sky. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
The pandemic has caused us all to adapt, strategize, and regroup. But this isn't the first time we've had to make adjustments on the fly. Who remembers 2017 New York Panorama? The weather was not on our side, and we didn't have a contingency plan for the rain and the wind. So now we'd like to bring back a throwback to New York Panorama 2017. Let us know who you love, who you vote to win. Panology presents Throwback to New York Panorama 2017. From Trinidad first, then to USA, performing Bushead, arranged by Odie Franklin, we have Despers USA Steel Orchestra.
Ladies and gentlemen, band number 1 to give us Bushead. Let's warmly welcome once again Despers USA. Bushead.
And what I remember was that it was a very chaotic year to say the least. I do recall myself looking at the weather earlier in the week, and I was speaking to one of the band members, and another bass player, and I said, listen, guys, I'm looking at the weather, and it doesn't look good for Saturday. So I would advise that, we be prepared that this panorama would be postponed. I think it was Philly Panstars, was it, who were first, who was to perform first. And they were already on stage, and they were ready to go. And that decision had not been made yet, as you remind me. And the bands were there, and I'm like, listen, I'm not going to play in the rain because the sound of the steel pan is obviously going to be much different. Philly wanted to play because obviously for logistical reasons with them, they didn't make plans to stay and perform on Sunday, obviously. So again, I get the fact that you don't want to piss the pan community off, but you have to be proactive. When the weather was, when that whole thing came about, and everyone had an idea it was being moved, or we were informed that it was being moved to Sunday. I think at first everyone was, a little frustrated, but willing to go forward without any reluctance. When we were informed that we would not be judged, I think that's when all the chaos actually ensued. Because a lot of bands felt like, what's the point? It's unfair that you put all this preparation for a competition and this is the end result. Because we couldn't fully understand why we would not be judged, because quite a few of us were present, but it was in the 2000s. I can't remember exactly which year it was, when the Panorama was actually rescheduled to Sunday due to weather, and there was no issue with the judging or anything of that sort. That to me, I think was a frustrating season. That was the year when the bands went to pull the numbers, and there was some dissent between USSA and YADCA as to somebody's owed or some situation like that. And the bands kind of refused to pull numbers until, some demands were met and all that stuff. And a lot of bands would consider not actually being part of the Panorama. And then that happened, and it was one of those years. I was really, and I know members of my band, which was Panevolution, were absolutely disappointed and brokenhearted because we felt like that was our year to be champions. And we felt like we were robbed of that opportunity to at least have that either confirmed or denied as, based on judges' results. So we felt that we were in a position to win that Panorama. So we were devastated, but we felt like it was absolutely stolen from us. It's horrible as a steel band player, as a steel band member of Pan Evolution, as a member of the Pan community who has been in Panorama in New York since 1997 to that point. It was real horrible. I mean, we did enjoy the little concert that we actually did, which we felt that's what it was, a concert. And after that, there was a lot of negative emotions and thoughts as to how it was handled, as to who was responsible, and all that stuff. To me, honestly, I feel like they enjoyed from what I saw. I only performed. I was with Pan Evolution. So from my point of view, that's from the one band that I was with. I think we sort of came to everyone. I think most of the bands came to the conclusion like it is what it is. Let's make the best of it, and let's do this for the people that actually come out to support us. So I think generally that's kind of most of the bands had already spent all this money for this season, and it would not have made sense for the bands to not perform because you have a bunch of kids, a bunch of young people who put their entire summers into rehearsing for this moment, and it would have been unfair to rob them of it. It was already unfair, but to not give them the opportunity to perform in front of an audience and to not give the audience that opportunity to enjoy what the bands have worked so hard to put together would have been really sad, and I think it would have been a real loss in the pan community for that year, 2017. And there was one more positive that I took from it, I don't know about anyone else, is the fact that no band had to struggle with the sound system. That's a big issue every band has every single year. And no offense to whoever the sound engineers are, but regardless, even if it's something that's discussed, something that's looked into, something that's everyone tried to fix the issue, it still ends up a lot of bands still end up having trouble with the sound system on the stage, how they are mic'd. So it was an opportunity for every band to present itself with its raw sound without the concern of the volume dropping or certain aspects of the music not being presented the way the band has rehearsed or the arrangers would like it to be presented to the audience. So to me, that was one a positive thing that I took from that experience.
Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Brooklyn playing Full Extreme, arranged by Terrence DJ Marcel, we have Dorados.
Ladies and gentlemen, about to play for us now is band number 4. Please warmly welcome the Rados. They have asked that we observe a moment's silence for a 19-year-old, one of their members, Matthew Dubb, who passed away recently. So at this time, ladies and gentlemen, we will observe a moment of silence. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Band number 4, here to play for us a song composed by Ultimate Rejects featuring Maximus Prime, sung by Ultimate Rejects, arranged for the band by Terrence DJ Marcel, and it will be played on pans tuned by Roland Harrigan and Larry Harrigan. The captain of this band, Junior Man Samuel, and the manager, Tom Cohen. Ladies and gentlemen, in position number 4 to play for us, Full Extreme. Put your hands together once again and warmly welcome the Rados. Full Extreme. Marcel's arrangement is one composed by Ultimate Rejects featuring Maximus Prime and sung by Ultimate Rejects. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed their rendition of Full Extreme, put your hands together once again for our reigning Panorama champions, the Raddles. They are the reigning Panorama champions.
Now it's time to welcome Harmony Music Makers to our virtual stage. Now it's time to welcome Harmony Music Makers to our virtual stage with Full Extreme, arranged by Clive Telmack. It's Harmony Steel Orchestra.
Put your hands together once again and warmly welcome Harmony Steel Orchestra, Full Extreme.
Now, from the picturesque bays of Freeport, Long Island, performing Good Morning, arranged by Shelton Besson, we have Ad-Lib Steel Orchestra.
Chosen to do for us a song composed by Jovan James, sung by Panorama, and arranged for the band by Shelton Besson. To play for us Good Morning. Let's warm you welcome once again, Ad-Lib Steel Orchestra.
Hi, my name is Candice. I am one of the stage managers with WIATCA for Labor Day Carnival Weekend. I've been a stage manager since 2016. And for Panorama, I've played a few roles. So in the beginning, the first few years, I would be by the gate, working with, I forget her name. What's that lady's name? I forget her name. You know who I mean.
Yeah.
The one with lots of, she got spunk. She be out there pushing the pants. Anyway, I'll be working with this lady, and the cops and the community cops, helping get the pans organized and get the bands in the yard, and then coordinating with whoever's on stage. And in recent years, I've been the one on stage coordinating with whoever's at the gate. For 2017, I would have been by the gate, working between the white shirt cops, the blue shirt cops, that lady whose name we can't remember, and then like working with the band leaders or the band managers, trying to get them in the yard. 2017, when it got canceled, I just remember there being a lot of tension, I guess, in that people just kept throwing out stories about like the last time that rain happened and they had to cancel. So like that's all we kept hearing, like it never gets canceled, rain or shine, it never gets canceled, rain or shine. And I just remember not getting enough information. Like we just didn't know what to do. Like there was a band on stage ready to perform. They had one band was in the yard, people were outside. And we just kind of, it's like, can we do it? Can we move forward? Can we let these people play? Can we make this happen? But eventually it couldn't happen. We transitioned into having it on the floor, as like the alternative. And then the interesting thing about that was that it ended up not being a judged competition, which was a whole other drama, because I got people, like I have friends who play pan and they're just like, it's not being judged? What? Oh my God, we rehearsed whole year. So that was a whole other set of feelings to have to deal with. People invest so much emotionally into like this one moment once a year. So yeah, I don't know. It was a lot of emotions to have to deal with, but I think at the end of the day, people were just happy that they got to play. But of course, it's just all of the drama leading up to what we eventually were able to do.
Let's give it up for the Caribbean American Sports and Cultural Youth Movement, playing Far From Home, arranged by Kendall K. Williams. It's Kasim.
have it on the Sunday, which was a good idea. But the whole I'm not sure what happened, but the whole thing with competing still was, was something that the bands then was capable of doing, because we, as you said, prepare all summer, and we was ready. We was ready from the Saturday. It was Sunday, because of the rain we couldn't participate, and then we had a meeting that basically was basically talking about, okay, are we gonna go forward and have this competition, and should it still be a competition, and blah 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 blah. And we so much stuff was happening. I think at that point that someone brought up the idea that we should still perform, but don't compete, and don't get, and everybody get the same amount of money, and just don't get judged. Which everybody, for some reason, I guess, because you already went through so much preparation to have all these players come up there that day, you don't want to disappoint the players then, because if you have said, okay, there's no Panorama that year because of whatever situation, all hell will break loose. We know this because you practice all summer, and most players, all they want to do is go and perform and get playing that stage, and that's it. That's what a player mindset is. They don't care about the extra politics and who all that extra stuff that goes on when you're a band leader. They don't care about that. I keep on saying that they do not care. So when, I guess, because the way how it was going within the meeting is, it was feeling like Whitey was gonna just say, you know what, we're not gonna have a Panorama. And then somebody brought up, I guess because of there wasn't not enough people coming to see the show, and they want to make back the money or whatever the case may be. Somebody came up and said, you know what, so let's just have basically a big pan jamboree, and everybody play and everybody get the same amount of money and call it George. Which everybody at that point agreed, because they didn't want to disappoint the players then. But the mistake, and I thought about this after I got back to my band, I was like, we could still judge. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was the mistake of all what happened, the rain, whatever the case would be, all that happened, we should have still have the judges them judge, because the judges was at the museum, so they could have judged. But it didn't happen that way, because when I got back to my band, I was like, damn, Travis, I should just say, let them judge. So at least you still get somebody come first, second, third, where you come, and that all the players them care about. They didn't care about we was getting the same money at that point, you know what I'm saying? As long as they know they won, they come second or whatever, that would have been suspicion for them, and that would have 2017 Panorama would have looked much better, because at that point we don't know who won. Everybody just performed, you entertained the crowd, and that was it. So we got ready for the whole summer, and nobody knew who won. We just performed, and that was the mistake that I think happened with that thing. Of all the rain and all whatever happened, and say you can't predict nature. So you know what I'm saying. So we should have got them to judge. That was it. So I'm gonna tell you, playing underground was actually one of the best Panorama experience most of the players have had. Yeah, you know why? I'm gonna tell you why. The reason why. So, as a pan player, when you play, and a lot of people are around you, it creates a vibe that just basically give you a different body experience, and you play much better for some reason. Yeah. And that was the feeling. So in Trinidad, they have the that kind of feeling on the drag, they call it, before you go on the stage. So when you play on the drag in Trinidad, that it's just a different feeling on the stage, because the stage is by yourself, with the band by itself, but in the ground with all the people around, it gives you that energy. It's like the people give you that energy that you feel like that. So that was the feeling you got that 2017 with how we set up underground.
Yeah.
So it was for players. It was, trust me, it was a different feeling. You got everything just felt much better underground. The others, I think they perceive it good too because they got that same energy too. Because it was up and close to the bands, and when they feel like they were a part of it. So that's what has happened. When you're on the stage and you're away, and you're just entertaining them, and they just listen to you. But once they with you in the pans and or whatever, they feel like they're part of the whole performance.
Sydney Knock. I have been one of the stage managers with Wiadka for 5 years, but I've been with the company, the organization, I should say, for 13. From what I recall, from the Thursday, between the Wednesday and the Thursday, before the first show, we started looking at dark sky. And that was the most amazing app that we had to look at weather. And it started off, if I recall, it was 20% of rain. And we was like, okay, maybe we could play around with it. Then it went up to 50 and we're like, okay, it's getting higher. And by the Friday night, the temperature dropped drastically. And Saturday morning, those clouds came in from the gates of hell. It was so dark. And we were like, okay, this rain is really going to come. By noon, it was getting dark and it started to drizzle. And then the rain started really coming when the guys were cleaning the yard, as a matter of fact. And the thing is, it wasn't only the rain, but the wind on top of it. We got drenched in that rain. I mean, the water. So they build these pan racks, right? And they decorate them beautifully, all kinds of streamers and stuff. So this particular, I can't remember who the band is. It could have been Philly Pan Stars. So they have a canopy that's covering the top of their pans. So obviously if it gets wet, it won't ruin the pans. So we're pushing the pans down the yard. Everything is cool. I'm like, okay, I'm in the rain, but it's not that bad, because the rain kind of eased up because it was up and down all night. Then we reached to the ramp. So this year, the ramp, I kid you not, it was like this steep going up, right? So we start to push, and I looked up. I don't know who told me to look up. And this water came down. You ever see the Madonna when she pulls the lever? And that water came down on me. And I think I felt like I drowned for a minute. Because I'm like... And the guy that's standing next to me, it was actually Kevin from the community affairs office. He is dying because he's like, oh my God, you almost died. I'm over here with my little self and I'm like, but the worst part about it is that we got stopped at the top of the stage and this water is still coming down on me. And it was terrible. It was, like I said, before I locked my hair, I had weave. I looked like a wet Yorkie. Okay, we're pushing this thing, and I'm like, go, keep going. And you have this little girl, and she's pulling with all her might, and I'm like, oh my God, somebody help. So one of the guys from the engineers, he saw what was going on, and he helps us pull the pan. They set it up, they chock it, because they didn't want the pans to slide. And he looks at me, and he's like, are you okay? I'm like, do I look okay? Needless to say, every year after that, I've put a poncho in my bag. So Candace and I, we're usually the runners. We're always on the street. We're making sure that everything is in order and trying to get things to run as smooth as possible. Candace and I make a really great team when it comes to being on the ground. So we're on the ground. Candace and I are on the walkies. We had satellite walkies that year. And we're talking to each other and we're trying to figure out, okay, do we send everybody in? I think that year was like 11 bands. And, she's sending people in. I have Philly Pan Stars on the stage, and they are tearing me up. And I got cussed left and right. But what they didn't realize, it was such a safety issue with, we have so much electrical things on the stage. We're not going to risk blowing the place up because of some rain and you want to play. Besides the show, we care about people's safety. So whether that be the rain making the stage slick, whether that be, people could potentially get hurt by standing on the bottom of the stage while this is coming down. They ended up telling the Pan people to come Sunday morning, and you guys are going to play before the Mardi Gras. Here's the kicker. There was no judging. Oh, boy. I don't know who came up with that plan, because coming from somebody that has played Pan as a child, you come for the competition, and that's exactly what they wanted. They wanted to compete. They wanted to see who was the best band. And they didn't want their work to get sour, and they spent so much months practicing. They're like, you know what? Let's just go play and have a good time. At least try to have a good time.
Ladies and gentlemen, again from the Brooklyn's Pan Yard, we have Pan Evolution playing Full Extreme, arranged by Andre White. Pan Evolution!
Mr. Matthew Baskin. They gave us an unrealized arrangement of Fleet
Jerusalema ikayalami ilondoloze